Welcome to the talk show Life Stories with Marc Hoberman. We hope you enjoy the show. Actress Jacqueline Murphy is our guest today. Jacqueline will talk about her experiences as an actress and her exciting news about her Emmy nomination.
Jacqueline Murphy, welcome to Life Stories with Marc Hoberman.
Hi there. Glad to be here. Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure. I don't want to brag, but I did play the clarinet for many years and had pretty good wind power. And normally, if I go quickly, I can read someone's resume in one breath. Yours, not so much. Wasn't able to do it. I think I'd have to be a tuba player. So busy, but let's go way back, Jacqueline. When did you first get the acting bug?
Well, I was the eldest of six, and we grew up on Long Island, and I loved watching old movies with my mom, with Rita Hayworth and Gilda and Veronica Lake and Alan Ladd. So I would take everybody out to the backyard and reenact the scenes that we had just saw. And so I started doing what I loved at a very early age, directing and acting in it. And I just feel blessed, Mark, to be able to do that in my adult life.
That's incredible. I don't want to brag again, but the number of plays and movies I directed in my room as a 10-year-old would blow you away. But it's so great. So did you ever hear of the name Loretta Young?
Oh, yes. My mother would be watching her when I came home from school. I think she had a show where she was a beauty queen.
Yes, and she came in and she twirled around. I only mention that because it's rare that people I interview mention the names Alan Ladd and people that you mentioned. But my grandfather, Harry Lubin, wrote all the music to Loretta Young. So when she came out, your mother would have known this, and twirled around. That song was called Dear Loretta. So I love when I hear I was like you. I was an old school fake actor. You're real. But I was an old school actor, director, producer at the age of 8, 9, and 10 also. So I just love that you really did get it so young.
Yeah, it's amazing, like the gifts that God brings you and the hidden talents that you have. And my mom was a creative person. She was an artist. She could hear any song on the radio and then go to the piano and play it. So she really encouraged like a lot of freedom and creativity in the house. So I feel blessed like that because she was fun. She had such a beautiful, free spirit. And I just feel so fortunate to have grown up with a mom like her. Yeah.
Upbringing is so important because there are those parents, and you know who they are, who when you say, I want to be an NBA player, I want to be a singer, I want to be an actress, they really try to steer you in the other direction. Your mother sounds like someone that would steer you in whatever direction you wanted to be steered in.
No, my mom knew you needed to have a profession to fall back on. And she actually struggled quite a lot in life. And she said, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to have something to fall back on, and then you can do whatever you want. So I got out of school a year ahead. I was 17. I went to a 2-year college, Suffolk Community, got my RN degree at 19. My stepfather helped me to get a job at Suffolk Developmental Center with the children with developmental problems, and I went on to get my bachelor's. From there, I moved to New York, got a job at New York Hospital, and went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and broke into the soap operas after I graduated playing a nurse. So her advice every day, I thank her. And her favorite saying was, always have an ace up your sleeve. So she helped me to have that.
That's great because as a teacher in my former life for over 32 years, people would say to me, and good athletes, I want to be a pro this, pro that. And I said, okay, and what if you don't make it? Or what if you make it and you get injured? You need something to fall back on. So most people go get a business degree, go get this, go get that. RN, very demanding. And you answered the question I think I'm going to ask anyway. Not just in the role in the soap opera, but did you bring some of your empathy, some of your training, some of your experiences as a nurse into your acting craft and your directing craft?
That's such a great question, Mark. Absolutely. I remember I was studying with Stella Adler, at City Center back in the 80s. And I was just sitting in Mrs. Brooks' coffee shop, and started talking with someone who, that was their number one question is, do you think you need to have empathy as an actor? And can you bring that from your nursing? And I said, absolutely. You have to feel like, how am I going to get into this character? Can I understand what their point of view is and where the heart is emotionally, mentally? And I was the eldest, as I said, of six. I was very connected with my mom, and I had to empathize with her daily struggles and everything that was going on. Empathy, yeah, it's a gift. Not everybody can do that and has that ability.
I've always said that you can never control everything, but you can always control your attitude about everything. It's interesting to me because in the same situation, I could see other people saying, yeah, my mother poo-pooed the acting and said, fall back on something. And obviously she gave you great advice, not just because it turned out, but that is great parenting advice. And I think it's wonderful that you took it that way. So I think that's a huge plus. But let's go back to some other things, because I want to know what you love and what you hate about auditioning.
Okay. Right now, I really love self-taping, but I do miss meeting the casting directors and the people there. But with self-taping, you can do as many takes as you want. Although my husband usually self-tapes me, and he's, get it done. I need to move on to do something else. So really, like yesterday, we did an audition. I did it twice for one scene and twice for the other, and then off it went. But it's working out, it's getting more confident and trusting yourself and doing the crazy things that make the character more interesting to someone who is watching it. What I hate is the reason I started doing short form drama comedy shows, which are also known as web series, because it gives the industry a chance to see your talent. It's a way to break through. What I hate is the difficulty if you're someone who is not a name to break through. But the Television Academy created this short form outstanding comedy drama variety category, and I'm so grateful to them because it has allowed a lot of actors and creators, directors, filmmakers to independently put themselves up on a platform and show their work. And if the work is good enough, you get vetted. Now, Pepito's America, my current show that I'm acting, producing, is on the ballot for a nomination, and the nominations will be announced on July 12th. And Variety said, I am number 3 to get a nomination, which is huge. They have these predictions based on a poll. Carlos Marino, the creator, he's number 5, and the show's 7. But you have to see what you're up against. You're up against Netflix, Comedy Central, big companies who have marketing budgets that are huge, and they throw plenty of money at the campaigning, and we're like the little engine that could. I just keep hoping, believing, working hard, and getting us out there.
Oh yeah, and it's very easy, but these platforms and social media has really helped so much, because unless you knew somebody or had a lot of money, as you said, it's difficult to be seen. But I'm going to mention something quickly, and then it's going to be your turn. So I'm just going to do a little word association, and it's your turn. Pepito's America. Your turn.
I know. I call it Pepito's America, but I'm continually reminded it's Pepito's America Mamadas. And Pepito is a beloved Latin character from Mexico he has jokes that are double entendres. So if I say a huevo production, huevo can mean several things. But Pepito is a hustler who comes to LA and meets my character, Councilwoman Miriam Price, pitches to do a commercial for me. And my big time financial donors, Tommy and Shelby Chong, who came onto the show as friends of mine and did a wonderful job and helped to really get us a bit of a buzz. They're thrilled with his commercial, and it goes viral, and he becomes an overnight sensation, which is the American dream. That's what Pepito means to me and America. America is, anything can happen here, and thank God for that.
Well, I hear so much that I really want the viewers to know. and any teen viewers to know, or parents of teens, you have to hone your craft. And it seems that you had phenomenal acting from the beginning, but what do you do now to continuously hone your craft?
As I mentioned yesterday, it's like going to the gym. I had 2 auditions to get out. You have to just keep working, keep doing it. Grateful to Pepito's America Mamadas and Carlos Marino Jr. because he gave me an opportunity. I started out as an actress on the show, and I saw he was an incredible filmmaker. And I spoke to some friends of mine who are name actors and told them and asked them to come on, so that I got a producing credit for. And as Carlos saw that I had other talents to write and direct, he let me expand into that. So I would say know everything. Even Carlos says that. He studied with a famous acting teacher in LA, Milton Casellas. And he'll say to you, Milton said, learn how to do it all. So all these younger adults that are going to college and learning things, yeah, learn how to edit and make films and direct and know and write. I hunkered down doing Sundance writing labs in fantasy and TV writing at Hal Grossman has Screenwriting U. I took a feature film class for a year and wrote my first feature, and also learned how to write TV, big for the TV to hook people. Right. So learn it all. My advice is winners make their own breaks. So figure out how you can do it and go dream it up, do it, and try. You have an iPhone, you can do so much just with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make a movie with an iPhone now. I'm really intrigued by Do Everything, because oftentimes I will see someone who's on a show for a certain amount of time, a year, 2 or more, and the show's getting successful. Then all of a sudden you see their executive producer, but then all of a sudden you see they direct it. And my friends have said, oh, look at them, they're getting extra money for directing. A lot of times they don't realize they started with the dream of being a director. They started with the dream of being a writer. So this is hard work. This isn't something they said, hey, I'm already a star of the show, so I have to produce the next one, or I have to direct the next episode. I love that advice of doing everything. And I love that you are connected with that. And I often talk about the story behind the glory, Jacqueline. So what were some of your biggest obstacles on your way to achieving success?
I wasn't a name. I didn't have someone in my family that could help me. I had to figure it all out on my own. It actually made me stronger. The beauty of this business is if people see that you have the talent. For example, I was working on All My Children as Nurse Thomas. I had scenes with the famous Susan Lucci and all the great soap operas, which they were the thing back in the late 80s and 90s when I started out. So glamorous to be on a soap opera. Everybody, you'd come home from school and everybody's parents would be watching it. I got called up to casting. And I thought, oh my God, what did I do? I'm in trouble. But in fact, they said to me, you are so helpful on the stage with the directors. Would you make a resume up to be a medical consultant? So I got a paycheck for acting and for medically consulting. And I would put the blood pressure cuff on this way, make sure the EKG machine looked right. And that was a big help to get me out of the hospital and doing what I loved more full time. That's, just, and also with Carlos, he saw my ability to bring talent in and gave me a producing credit. I got great locations that didn't cost a thing. I got him a Bentley because he goes from Barrio to Bentley. He's driving my friend's Bentley. But when I got Ken Davidian from Borat to come on, I knew Ken very well, and he's Armenian. And Pepito is about embracing all different races, all different ethnicities, age groups. And I said, I know Ken very well. I see him entering as Zorba the Greek and he showing off his culture, that European sensibility. And so I called up Ken and I said, I'm writing your scene. I know you. He said, I'd love to play a villain. And I said, oh, good. All right. So I'm a good councilwoman, and you're going to be the villainous councilman who's involved with nightclubs and casinos. And that's how the writing happened for Pepito's America Mamadas. And Carlos will review everything, and he's a very good writer, and he puts his magic sauce on and makes a few changes, and then there we go. And so the next episode, I asked him to direct, and he said, sure. So we co-directed episode 10. And he'll tell you right out, he rewards people who show that they can do things and have that talent. And he's a fantastic collaborator. So it is a blessing. Not everybody's like that. And with all my children, not everybody notices what you can do and rewards you. So those are little blessings that happened to me.
Oh, for sure. And the fact that you were a nurse and they recognized your know-how in the medical field made the show better, made those scenes better, I'm sure. So I think that was a win for everybody. Yeah. You talk about so many different things. I know in 2017 you did The Admired. I think you started it, you created it, you produced it, you directed it.
Yeah, here's wrote it. Film slate, from directing and everything on it. I keep it around. Yeah, that turned out to be a blessing. And this one is a Best Lead Actress award here that I won. We won 50 awards on the film circuit. And then at the Burbank Film Festival, we won this little award here. But I have them scattered between LA and here and out on Long Island. And I just did it because I wanted to play that Veronica Lake type of actress who makes a deal to go back to the 40s and be a big movie star. And like you had mentioned yourself, you were intrigued with Loretta Young, and I was always intrigued with the studio system and how they put out these stars and how glamorous they looked. But The Admired is about what happens behind the scenes, because as we know, there is that Hollywood image. But then even like Rock Hudson, he presented himself as a fantastic leading man, but he had to cover up his sexual orientation. I just find that fascinating, what the public sees and what's really behind, and the humanity inside the soul of a person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Carlos likes to portray that also in Pepito's America Mamadas. It has such soul and humanity and heart in it. And in my one scene, when I like his commercial that he's done for my mayoral campaign, he says, I put my heart into it, but that's really who he is. Yeah.
To your point, you only know what, and I'm finding now more than ever with the advent of all these streaming services that movies and you see your favorite actor in different roles, that's one thing. But when you see series, Yellowstone, Schitt's Creek, it doesn't matter what it is, you start to become like a member of that cast yourself as the outsider looking in. So you really don't know anything about what goes on behind closed doors. So in the premise of of your work, The Admired is just incredible, because actually what goes on in the background, people really are interested in it, just never get to see it. That's why all those magazines sell, the National Enquirer and things like that, right in the front of the supermarket on your way out, because it tells you the things supposedly that you really don't know. But before we close today, I think you have so much information, so much experience. Jacqueline, what advice would you give to young people who are thinking about a career in the entertainment industry?
I come from a place of lifting people up and wanting to empower everyone. And I said it wasn't easy for me, but I did it because I loved it. So I would say get as much training as you can. I mentioned earlier, learn how to do it all, the writing, the directing, the filmmaking of any kind, and create your own projects. Take your iPhone and just go out there and show different sides of yourself. Even social media is so powerful these days. On TikTok, you can make your own YouTube channel, which I have. My YouTube channel is Jacqueline Murphy Actress, and Pepito's America. Carlos created his YouTube channel. Get a following, believe that you can do it, and get your training, and try to stay focused. Write your goals down. If you really want to be an actress, then do your social media, meet the casting people, do some workshops, take it. But I think that the social media and making your own content is very strong right now, and that's where I would encourage them to go and just put it out there.
Great advice. And I love that stay focused piece. I think that's so important. Jacqueline Murphy, I can't thank you enough for being with us today. I really want to thank you for sharing your stories and your experiences with both the good, the bad, and the difficult of being in this business. I wish you loads of luck on your Emmy nomination.
Thank you.
Yes. And to the viewers, I'm sorry?
Lovely to spend time with you.
Yeah, it's truly an honor. I just want to say to the viewers, don't forget to watch us on E360 TV, available on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. EST, available on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire. Remember to follow us on social media. Life Stories with Marc Hoberman is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course our YouTube channel, so subscribe. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. And if I just might say, check out Pepito's America on YouTube, and we're on social media. I'm Jacqueline Murphy13 on Instagram. JacquelineMurphy.net is my website. Jacqueline Actor on Twitter. And thank you for watching Pepito's America.
That's great.
Thank you for watching Life Stories with Marc Hoberman.